Doa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Allah, sesungguhnya Engkaulah Tuhan yang mempunyai kebesaran dan keagungan, yang memerintah dan mentadbir alam sekalian. Tiada berlaku sesuatu melainkan dengan kehendak dan kekuasaan daripada-Mu jua. Kepada Engkaulah sebenar-benarnya tempat kami meletakkan harapan dan memohon pertolongan. Ya Allah, apalah kiranya dengan kemurahan-Mu Engkau anugerahkan kepada kami sebaik-baik ilham dan fikiran, dan berikanlah kami sebaik-baik pimpinan untuk menjalankan tugas dan kewajipan kami. Mudahkan kepada kami segala kerumitan dalam menyelesaikan persoalan-persoalan yang diperbahaskan di dalam sidangan kami ini, dan sampaikanlah kami kepada kata sepakat dan tujuan-tujuan yang muktamad demi untuk kepentingan dan kebaikan negara. Seterusnya, kepada Engkaulah juga kami harapkan agar segala usaha dan cita-cita kerajaan dalam rancangan-rancangan pembangunannya akan berhasil dan berjaya untuk membawa kemakmuran, keadilan dan kebahagiaan kepada rakyat seluruhnya. Amin.
Pemasyuran daripada Tuan Speaker.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera. Ahli yang berhormat, I have granted leave of absence under Standing Order 81 to Yang Berhormat Datuk Haji Talib Zulfilip, Honorable Member for N67 Jepak, for today's sitting until 26 May 2022.
Sambungan perbahasan usul penghargaan atas ucapan Tuan Yang Terutama Yang di-Pertua Negeri Sarawak.
Dengan hormatnya, saya menjemput Yang Berhormat Datuk Roland Sagah-Wiin, Menteri Pendidikan, Inovasi dan Pembangunan Bakat, untuk menyampaikan ucapan penggulungan.
Terima kasih Yang Berhormat Tan Sri Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, first and foremost, I would like to thank all honourable members for Daro, Baleh, Balingan, Setakan, Ngemah, Opar, Batu Kitang, Tanyang Batu, Bak Kelalan, Kelakar, Pelagus, Beting Maru, and all others for their concern on issues related to my ministry. All issues raised will be addressed based on whether they are under the purview of Sarawak or federal government. Those that are under our authority will be handled accordingly, while those under the federal government will be brought up to their attention accordingly. Now I would like to clarify specific issues concerning education, innovation and talent development that have been highlighted in this sitting. For the information of ahli-ahli yang berhormat for Daro and Baleh, on the matter of unemployed graduates, there are a number of programs that are conducted by both Sarawak and federal government. Among others are Graduate Enhancement Training Sarawak, or GETS, National Talent Enhancement Program, and TAP, Sarawak Career and Training Fair, SCAT Fair, Digital Innovation Hubs, and Program Graduan ke Arah Keusahawanan, GERAK. Other than that, the government has also provided employment portals such as e-recruitment and My Future Jobs to match job seekers and employers. For the information of ahli yang berhormat for Batu Kitang and Tanjung Batu, on the request for a new secondary school for Batu Kitang, the plan to establish a new school is under study, taking into consideration several aspects which include forecasted increase of students, enrollment in nearby schools. As for Tanjung Batu, I'm glad to inform that the Ministry of Education, this Federal Ministry, MOE, has approved the building of one secondary school within Bintulu town under RP2 Rolling Plan 2 Rancangan Malaysia Ke-12. Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Sarawak or JPNS has identified a suitable location for the new school, which would be included in the Rolling Plan 4 RMK 12. Dilapidated schools. I noticed that the issue of dilapidated schools is hot and popular and has consistently been brought up in the sittings of this August House. I am glad that all members of this August House agree that providing a safe and conducive learning and teaching environment where our educators and students can thrive is of utmost importance. However, we should look into the importance of education holistically, where the teachers' competencies and welfare, students' performance, teaching and learning materials and equipments, and parent community roles and responsibilities must also be tackled. Therefore, I would like all ahli-ahli yang berhormat to assist and work together in addressing those issues. For the information of all members of this August House, first and foremost, it is important for us to have an understanding of how we classify dilapidated schools. For the purpose of easy reference, my ministry, JPNS, and JKR Sarawak have categorized dilapidated schools as DS1, DS2, and DS3. Each category is defined as 1. DS1, which generally refers to 25% dilapidation. That is 30 to 40 years old and partially wood-based buildings with minimal damage that only require maintenance. 2. DS2 refers to 50% dilapidation, 40 to 50 years old buildings, which are mostly wood-based with more physical damage that require repairs and maintenance. 3. DS3 are 75% dilapidation, more than 50 years old buildings, which are all wood-based and have major structure damage. In 2016, the total number of dilapidated schools in Sarawak was 1,020, of which 415 were considered DS3, 210 as DS2, and 395 as DS1. To date, a total of 455 dilapidated schools in those three categories have been covered under various school repairs, rebuild, or relocation projects. Of these, 245 projects have been completed, while the rest are still under various stages of development. In terms of funding for those projects since 2016, the federal government, through the Ministry of Education, has allocated about 1.7 billion ringgit for 242 schools development projects. On the other hand, the Sarawak government has provided about 1.3 billion ringgit for 213 schools development projects, which are 1 billion advance payment to the federal government, the one that is popularly referred to. 2, Project Rakyat, which is about 140 million, and 3, upgrading of schools under Rikoda, that comes to 160 million ringgit. I would like to inform this August House that due to the large number of dilapidated schools throughout Sarawak and funding constraints, we have to prioritize the development of the dilapidated schools. Thus, I would like to urge all the members of this August House to be patient in our quest to resolve the issue of dilapidated schools. Mr. Speaker, sir, learning materials. For the information of ahli yang berhormat for Baleh, the Sarawak government through my ministry has been providing many types of facilities and extra materials for teaching and learning that cover all schools throughout Sarawak. Among others, the provision of Raspberry Pi computers, National Geographic learning materials, teacher guidebooks, and student workbooks. I assure you that we will continue these efforts to ensure our teachers and students, especially those in the rural areas, are not left behind. Apart from that, MOE, Ministry of Education, is also providing furniture and beddings from time to time based on priorities and agencies of the schools. This exercise has to be done so because of limited funding. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the issue of shortage of teachers, ahli yang berhormat for Baleh has raised the issue of shortage of teachers in his debate. We are indeed very concerned on the issue of shortage of teachers in Sarawak. As education is under the federal government's purview, which includes the hiring and transfer of teachers, our hands are tied. However, we have put up several recommendations and proposals to the Ministry of Education to address the issue. We are glad that some of these proposals have been taken up by MOE. For example, the one-off teachers recruitment exercise in 2021, where 2,393 teachers were recruited for Sarawak, of which 766 are Sarawakians. For the information of this August House, we have also submitted another proposal to address the shortage of teachers in Sarawak to the Right Honourable Prime Minister and the Ministry of Education. We highly hope that the federal government, under the Right Honourable Prime Minister, will seriously consider our proposal so that the issue of shortage of teachers in Sarawak can be resolved amicably. Mr. Speaker, sir, teachers opting for early retirement. For the information of this August House, within the last 3 years, the number of teachers who opted for early retirement in Sarawak are: year 2019, 138 teachers; Year 2020, 164 teachers. And year 2021, 188 teachers. Based on the survey by JPNS, Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Sarawak, the percentage is only 0.004, not even 1%, of the total number of teachers in Sarawak. The main reasons for early retirement are: 1, due to ill health reasons. 2, been in teaching for more than 30 years and decided to move on to other areas, maybe migrate, maybe do business or some other things. And 3, wanting to focus on their family. Any application for early retirement by teachers would be submitted to the Ministry of Education and the Department of Public Services Malaysia for final decision. Mr. Speaker, Sir, SK LANGSUNG. For the information of ahli yang berhormat for Baklalan, the project to complete abandoned works at SK LANGSUNG Lawas has been approved under Rolling Plan 2 RMK 12 with the following work scopes. 1, inspection on structural integrity of the abandoned buildings. 2, slope reinforcement works. 3, completion of abandoned buildings, namely the administrative block, academic block of 6 classrooms and a canteen. And 4, construction of water treatment plants, exterior works, and other facilities. JKR Malaysia has carried out a thorough inspection on the 9th of March 2022 and concluded that there is a need to carry out detailed structural analysis to verify the structural integrity of the abandoned buildings. For this, JKR Malaysia is in the midst of appointing the consultant. The project direction can only be determined once the analysis is done. It is sad to note that Yang Berhormat for Baklalan is always showing concern on this project. Sorry, my friend. Well, when he has full authority over JKR Malaysia, he did not do anything to expedite the completion of the project. Mr. Speaker, sir, relocation and rebuilding of schools. For the information of ahli yang berhormat for Kelakar, Baleh, Tamin, and Klili and Beting Maro, due to frequent flooding, slope failure, land issues, and low enrollment schools, the government has embarked on relocation and rebuilding programs. There are 80 schools subject to frequent flooding and slope failure or possible erosion. 263 schools have been identified as low enrollment schools, SKM, Sekolah Kurang Murid, by the State Education Department that could be merged into 49 centralized schools. However, the relocation of these schools is only possible if there are enough funding allocation from the federal government. It is estimated that approximately 2.4 billion ringgit for flood-prone and slope failure and 1.2 billion ringgit for SKM are required to relocate and rebuild the schools. For merging of SKM, besides needs for funding, we also need full support from the local community. Solar hybrid structure on football field. For the information of ahli yang berhormat for Katibas, these schools have very limited land area. Therefore, the structure of a solar hybrid system was built on a school's field. Nevertheless, the design of these facilities is based on an open hall concept, where the solar panels are placed on the roof while the space below it can be utilized for sports and recreation activities by students. Perhaps Ali Yang Berhormat can work closely with the schools and local communities to identify suitable space for a full-fledged football field or utilize nearby facilities for the respective schools affected. Mr. Speaker, sir, I now move to technical institutions. For the information of ahli-ahli yang berhormat for Lingga, Kelakar, Opar, Balingyan, and Macan, establishing a technical or skills training institution is not as simple or as straightforward as it seems. Several factors have to be taken into account, namely, 1. Overall state industrial development strategy. 2. Existence of local industries for practical training and job opportunities. 3. Population of students and youth within the area. 4. Availability of teaching staff on the relevant subjects. 5. Availability of infrastructure and facilities. And 6. Availability of similar institutions within the surrounding areas. Without this, it would not be viable to establish such institutions. Therefore, I would like to urge ahli-ahli yang berhormat to encourage youth and potential students of their respective constituencies to explore institutions in the nearby towns or other areas that offer courses that they are interested in. Spread your wings and fly. Be more adventurous and explore the world. Then you will be more marketable. Furthermore, there are already 99 Tibet institutions throughout Sarawak, where 58 are public Tibet and 41 are private Tibet, all these institutions. Most, if not all of these institutions are not operating at full capacity because of not enough students. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will now briefly touch on matters also under the purview of my ministry. Firstly, on education again. Raspberry Pi, inculcating ICT know-how in school students. It has come to our attention that there are some individuals who are skeptical or suspicious of the Sarawak government's effort to inculcate the use of information and communication technology, ICT, tools among our school students by using Raspberry Pi computers. Perhaps they are skeptical because they are not as familiar with the Raspberry Pi as they are with the more common desktop, laptop, tablets, and smartphone devices. Under the initiative, a total of 9,436 sets of Raspberry Pi computers are purchased by the government through my ministry and subsequently distributed to all 1,265 primary schools and 30 education district offices, the PPDs, by the Sarawak Information System, Sdn Bhd. For the information of this August House, the Raspberry Pi is not meant to replace PCs or laptops in the schools. It is a viable alternative tool for light productivity applications, and it is capable of doing what a normal PC can do. However, we are also looking beyond these general office and productivity functions of a normal PC, personal computers, PC. We intend the Raspberry Pi to be utilized as a learning platform for computing, coding, and to help develop users' analytical and problem-solving skills. It also functions as an internet in a box in rural areas that lack internet connectivity. With this feature, students can be familiarized with internet surfing, even when they are not able to connect to the internet. In terms of operating systems and software, the Raspberry Pi, which we have supplied, comes ready and preloaded with all necessary operating systems and content. It can also run the Windows operating system, which many of us are familiar with. To use Raspberry Pi as a learning tool, teachers need to be continuously trained. I assure that my ministry has and will continue to complement the provisions of Raspberry Pi with comprehensive training for both teachers and students. Due to the pandemic, my ministry has organized 2 webinars thus far. One, the first one in December 2021, where IT officers from all 30 PPDs participated. There's 2 series of Raspberry Pi webinars with ICT and RBT, Reka Bentuk dan Teknologi, this RBT. Subject teachers were conducted from 12 to 14 of April 2022, where 1,000 teachers participated. Mr. Speaker, sir, additionally, face-to-face trainings for teachers and students will be provided over a 3-year period beginning the 14th of May 2022. That was just a week ago. Based on our pre- and post-training evaluation thus far, the response has been very positive. The participants found the training informative and are excited to begin in-depth training in order to further utilize the Raspberry Pi in their learning and teaching process. In terms of impact in the long run, as it is with any learning process, this will be measured periodically over time and not instantly. Of course, by then, we expect our students and teachers to be adept with various IT tools and put to good use their applications, be it a normal computer or a Raspberry Pi. On the topic of continuous professional development, CPD for teachers. The roles of teachers and school leaders are equally important, and for this reason, Sarawak has placed utmost importance on continuous professional development, CPD. The main objectives of these CPDs are to 1, strengthen the teachers' pedagogical content knowledge. 2, expand professionalism amongst teachers. 3, enhance the effectiveness in teaching and learning of the subjects. And 4, update the teachers with new ways and tools in teaching. Ultimately, it is hoped that this will help improve our students' performance in the long run. We have been collaborating with Institute Pendidikan Guru, IPGs, Institute Aminuddin Baki, IAB, Cawangan Sarawak, Jemaah Nazir Negeri Sarawak, and JPNS in implementing these CPD programs since 2020, where more than 1 million was spent for this purpose. 1 million ringgit. Some 3,600 teachers were involved in 2021. My ministry will continue to support our teachers' CPD needs, and more face-to-face trainings will be organized, especially for those who have not had the opportunity to attend any courses yet. Teaching of Mathematics and Science in English, DLP Sarawak. The main objective of the Dual Language Program, DLP Sarawak, is to provide students with strong foundation in science and mathematics to enable them to perform well in their secondary and tertiary education, of which English is the main language used. DLP is often misunderstood as mathematics and science being taught in both the Bahasa Melayu and English languages. However, this is not what DLP means. What it really means is that mathematics and science are taught solely in the English language, whereas other subjects such as history and geography are taught in Bahasa Melayu. With respect to the implementation of DLP Sarawak, the key strategies are: 1. Providing continuous training to the teachers to teach mathematics and science in English. 2. Providing sufficient resource materials for the teaching and learning of these subjects in English. 3. Regular monitoring of DLP Sarawak and undertake necessary interventions to ensure successful implementation of the program. And 4. Developing support system for teachers involved in DLP Sarawak. For the information of this August House, we are now in the 3rd year of running DLP Sarawak. Thus far, we have provided training covering all teachers who are teaching science and mathematics for Year 1 and Year 2. For 2022, we are collaborating with IPG Batu Lintang and JPNS in implementing the program targeting primary 3 school teachers, which will begin on 14 June 2022, involving another 650 teachers. In addition, my ministry has also provided extra materials to support DLP Sarawak by producing teachers' guidebooks and student activity books. These materials have been delivered to all the schools. Mr. Speaker, sir, Yayasan Sarawak International Secondary School, YSIS. The spirit behind the establishment of the Yayasan Sarawak International Secondary School is to offer the opportunity for quality international education to bright students from across Sarawak, particularly those from low-income families and the rural areas. I'm happy to inform that our first Yayasan Sarawak International Schools in Kuching, YSIS Kuching, located in Putrajaya, began operations in April 2022 with its first intake of 111 students, 111. Out of these, we have 80 boarders and 31 day scholars, and 60% of the students are from the B40 group, 30% from M40, and 10% from T20. Those students who had been offered placement at the school had sat for and passed the entrance assessment test. The Sarawak government provides full scholarship for those from B40, while those from the M40 and T20 pay a minimal monthly fee. The update of placement in the school fell short of the targeted 200 students. This could be attributed to parents especially from the rural areas who are reluctant to send their children to study in schools that are far from home, in spite of having the school expenses fully covered by the Sarawak government. We urge educators and parents alike to support this initiative by encouraging their students and children to enroll in the school should they qualify. In this respect, we are also working very hard to get the other YCs built and operational in Semenggok, Cebu, Miri, and Bintulu, so that students throughout Sarawak, particularly those from the low-income group, have the opportunity to receive quality education closer to their home. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Sarawak Science Centre. The Sarawak Science Centre project was mooted by the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak in 2017. The role of the centre will be to conduct educational activities and programs that will inculcate interest and appreciation in science and technology amongst the younger generation and the public in general. We have been collaborating with Singapore Science Centre to develop our master plan and operating model based on the centre in Singapore, which is the oldest, most established and successful science centre in this region. We are nearing the completion of the master plan and concurrently finalizing the design of the centre, which will be located along Jalan Stadium here in Putrajaya, where the site has been cleared and earthworks completed. Mr. Speaker, sir, intake of foreign students, Education Malaysia Global Services, EMGS. For the information of this August House, the Education Malaysia Global Services, or EMGS, is wholly owned by the Ministry of Higher Education, MOHI, and is the official gateway for international students who want to study in Malaysia. Through the Student Application and Registration System, STARS, managed by EMGS, these students are able to obtain guidelines to study in Malaysia, apply for the international student's visa, and other necessary travel authorization online. The Sarawak government has engaged with MOHI, the Ministry of Home Affairs, and the Immigration Department, and EMGS on the 3rd of March 2022, and it was agreed that the system be extended to both private and public institutions of higher learning in Sarawak. A town hall session was held the following day with the institutions of higher learning, and the response has been encouraging. My ministry will be conducting a series of meetings to streamline the process for foreign student entry into Sarawak through the STAR system. Study Sarawak. Mr. Speaker, sir, my ministry is embarking on a program to promote Sarawak as a regional higher education hub. It aims to emulate the success of Study UK and Study Melbourne in attracting students to study in those countries. The Study Sarawak program will complement and enhance the student services offered by education institutions in Sarawak and become a trusted platform to engage with current and future tertiary students. My ministry has sought feedback from institutions of higher learning in a workshop organized on the 27th of April 2022. Representatives from 13 institutions attended the workshop, and they have given overwhelming support for the activities planned under Study Sarawak. For example, digital marketing, data sharing, student events and promotions, and United Education Fair. My ministry will continue to seek feedback from stakeholders to refine and ensure the success of Study Sarawak. Mr. Speaker, sir, science and technological R&D and innovation. I will now touch on some updates and progress by the research agencies under my ministry. Funding R&D and innovation. The Sarawak Research and Development Council's Research Grant Schemes, SRGS, provides funding for new and emerging fields of research, which also entail capacity building in strategically important areas. Between 2019 and 2021, the Sarawak Research and Development Council has provided research grants support amounting to 13.286 million ringgit to successful grant applicants, special projects, and schools in Sarawak. The first Sarawak Research and Development Council grant call was announced in September 2019. Scientists based in Sarawak were invited to submit their proposal in the following priority areas. 1. Bioindustry and biomedical health sciences. 2. Agriculture and food. 3. Biodiversity and environment. And 4. Engineering sciences. The scheme of grant offered were the Research Initiation Fund, Catalyst Fund, Special Venture Fund, and Commercialization Fund. Also offered were the Bright Sparks Grant for Schools. 182 submissions were received for the research grant schemes and 40 for the Bright Sparks schemes. Under the first grant call, the Research Council disbursed 6.996 million ringgit to 46 million grant applicants, and another 100,000 ringgit to 20 schools under the Bright Spark program. The second grant call was announced in September 2020 for the Research Initiation, Catalyst, Special Venture, and Commercialization funds. In addition to these funds, the Council also announced a call for 2 targeted thematic research programs. 1, waging war against antimicrobial resistance, and Angkabang, the wonders of Sarawak. A total of 130 submissions were received. Following a rigorous review process, the Council awarded a total of 1.993 million to 13 successful applicants. In addition to this, the Sarawak Research and Development Council has also awarded grants to 3 special projects, namely 1. Rabies diagnostic research. 500,000 ringgit was awarded in 2019 to the Institute of Health and Community Medicine, UNIMAS. 2. 2021 SARS-CoV-2 serology study. 2.895 million ringgit were awarded to the Institute of Health and Community Medicine, UNIMAS. And 3. In 2021 SBC, SRDC, SARS, Biotherapeutics, 800,000 ringgit were awarded to the Sarawak Biodiversity Center, SBC. Mr. Speaker, sir, driving Sarawak economy through innovation, the Sarawak Bio-Industrial Park project. Sarawak's birth of biodiversity provides us with unrealized potential for development of bioeconomy, from the jungle to high-value products in the market. The Sarawak Bioindustrial Park, or SBP project, was initiated to catalyze this, our very own bioindustry. While there are existing bioindustrial parks globally, the SBP's unique value proposition is being able to leverage on Sarawak's rainforests, along with high-tech investment opportunities for biotech companies. By establishing the SBP, Sarawak will be able to tap into the global biotechnological economy, where the market size is expected to surpass around $1,684 billion US dollars by 2030. The Sarawak Biodiversity Center has been tasked to implement the catalytic project under Post-COVID-19 Development Strategy 2030, PCDS 2030, and 12 Malaysia Plan. The focus of the park will be on bio-based industries such as bioactives, biohealth, biomaterials, bioenergy, and bioenvironmental. The implementation of the SBP has started with its first phase, following the recommendation of a master plan study which was carried out to investigate the feasibility of the project, its implementation, and business model. In the first phase, 26 acres of the 100 acres allocated within the Greater Semarahan industrial area will be developed. The topography survey of the site is expected to complete this month, and earthwork is expected to begin in July 2022, followed by construction works in Q4 of 2022. Simultaneous to the building works, the Sarawak Biodiversity Center will be working to secure investment from 5 tenants. In the first phase, a central hub facility will also be established to collaborate with technology partners to assist the investors in the park. The SBP is expected to be completed by 2035, with the benefit to grow and elevate Sarawak economy, create new jobs opportunities, and raise household income. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Sarawak Infectious Disease Center, SIDC. The Sarawak government approved the establishment of the Sarawak Infectious Disease Center, SIDC project in February 2021, with the flying goals of equipping Sarawak with the ability to 1. Detect and diagnose outbreaks that occur in Sarawak. 2. Protect Sarawak by improving research, equip Sarawak with the capability and capacity to produce and stockpile medication, vaccines, and equipment against outbreak. And 3. Respond at the national and local levels in the event a pandemic strain hits Sarawak. Since then, a 40-acre land has been allocated for the SIDC, situated next to the Sarawak Heart Center along the Kota Semarahan Expressway. The project is being implemented by Sarawak Research and Development Council. In terms of physical progress, soil investigation work was completed in January 2022, and the project is in the master planning stage, where design and planning are ongoing and expected to complete by September 2022. The earthwork is scheduled to start within this month, and construction is expected to kick off at the beginning of 2023. Talent development. My ministry has been entrusted to look into talent development to drive the socio-economic development of Sarawak. Sarawak government has established 3 institutes of higher education and 2 TVET institutions, state-linked TVET institutions. 2 Sarawak government-linked institutions have been put under the purview of my ministry, namely Sentex and Sarawak Skills. CENTEX, or the Center of Technical Excellence Sarawak. CENTEX has 6 campuses throughout Sarawak, with total current enrollment of 534 students. Since 2020, a total of 888 students have graduated. Based on tracer study on the graduates, the current employability rate of the student is 92%. CENTEX offers 64 fundamental programs with full scholarship related to oil and gas, construction, electrical, hospitality, and tourism, safety, culinary heritage, fashion technology, digital hardware, software, immersive technology, Internet of Things, digital marketing, and Industry 4.0. The basic admission requirements to enroll into courses offered by CENTEX are the ability to read and write, a minimum of 18 years old, and residing in Sarawak. In addition, candidates must also meet the academic requirement of the specific course, if any. Depending on the courses attended, upon completion, the participant will be awarded internationally or locally recognized certification, such as Huawei, Schlumberger, the Welding Institute, UK TWI, and Electrical Inspectorate Unit, EIU. All the graduates are industry ready, meaning they have acquired the necessary skills to serve in the relevant industry. Sarawak Skills Development Center, or Sarawak Skills. Sarawak Skills, an institution committed towards talent development, has 9 campuses throughout Sarawak, with a total current enrollment of 2,600 students. Since 2020, a total of 1,576 students have graduated. Based on Sarawak Skills record, the employability rate of the graduates is 91%. Sarawak Skills is an NGO which has 71 members, comprising companies from the electronics, electrical, energy, oil and gas, educational, timber and wood-based, property, municipal services, manufacturing, telecommunications, and service industries. It is also a member of the Federation of Malaysian Skills Development Centers, FMSDC. Sarawak Skills has launched a series of strategic initiatives in line with its role as a stakeholder in the transformation of Sarawak's socio-economic landscape. One of its newly minted initiatives is the establishment of Sarawak Skills Industry-Driven and Consultative Service Committee. The committee members are from the Federation of Malaysia Manufacturers, FMM, Sarawak Oil Palm Plantation Owners Association, SOPOA, Sarawak ICT Association, Sarawak Petroleum Contractors Association, SPECA, Sarawak Electronics and Supporting Industries Companies Association. Sarawak Skills offer 12 skill programs, 12 academic programs, and 25 technical training programs such as mechatronics, electrical, electronics, welding, plantation, civil engineering, business, and software engineering from certificate to bachelor degree level. The basic admission requirement to enroll into courses offered by Sarawak Skills are SPM school leavers, a minimum age of 18 years, and of Malaysian nationality. Sarawak Skills also accepts international students for its courses. Majlis Tibet Kebangsaan, MTVET. To empower technical and vocational skills training, the federal government has set up the Majlis Tibet Kebangsaan. One of the initiatives under MTVET is designing TVET institution as a hub for each state. For Sarawak, through engagement with my ministry, MTVET has designated Centex Digital Academy as the Sarawak hub for digital economy. With this arrangement, initiatives and assistance for talent development under digital economy will be channeled through Centex Digital Academy. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to record my appreciation to His Excellency the Governor for his gracious and articulate address to this august House. His wisdom and firm grasp of contemporary changes in the political landscape and the ever-changing global socio-economic landscape and technology is admirable. Those are, of course, made possible by the resourceful, futuristic, and visionary strategic moves made by our Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak and a member for Gedong. Since taking over the helm of the Sarawak government, our Premier has re-engineered the economy. His brilliant ideas and policies on green technology and environmental sustainability have caught global attention. This is evidenced by the invitation to be a panel speaker, sir, at a forum in Singapore a few weeks ago, and recently he was invited to deliver a keynote address at the Global Summit to world leaders and industry players at the Hydrogen Summit in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. We are indeed proud to have a leader that is far-sighted, visionary, and given global recognition. I would also like to thank all ministries, departments, and agencies, both states and federal, that have rendered their assistance to my ministry to get things done. Not forgetting my appreciation to all officers and staff of my ministry who have worked tirelessly to ensure that work runs smoothly. Bagi mengakhiri ucapan penggulungan ini, saya ingin merakamkan syabas dan terima kasih kepada Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, Timbalan Speaker serta pegawai-pegawai dan petugas Dewan Undangan Negeri yang telah melaksanakan persidangan ini dengan penuh efisien dan jayanya. Saya mengambil kesempatan ini mengucapkan selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, selamat gawai, mitik tepat berkat dan penyedapat rebis burger, if you understand that, sir. Yang tipu bau. Selamat Hari Gawai, Gayu Guru, Gerai Nyamai, Lantai Senang, Celap Menua, nitih ka di ga Tan Sri Speaker, aku pun ka berpantun. Ambil galah kayu jati, bergaya ngambil buah kuini, marilah kita bersatu hati, beraya berambil penuh harmoni. Cadangan Premier molah kereta api, ada orang selalu komplain. Udah di meeting akan jadi reality. Persidangan ini dah nak berhenti. Next sitting kita jumpa lagi. I hereby support the motion of appreciation for the Governor's address to this august House. Thank you very much, sir.
Oleh Yang Berhormat, sekarang saya menyebut Yang Berhormat Datuk Haji Julaihi bin Haji Narawi, Menteri Utiliti dan Telekomunikasi, untuk menyampaikan ucapan penggulungan.
Terima kasih Tuan Speaker kerana memberi peluang kepada saya untuk menyampaikan ucapan penggulungan bagi Kementerian Utiliti dan Telekomunikasi Sarawak. Tuan Speaker, saya ingin menjunjung kasih dan menzahirkan ucapan penghargaan kepada Tuan Yang Terutama Yang di-Pertuan Negeri Sarawak yang telah menyempurnakan Majlis Perasmian Mesyuarat Kedua Bagi Penggal Pertama Dewan Undangan Negeri Sarawak KE-19 baru-baru ini. Setinggi-tinggi tahniah dan syabas kepada Yang Amat Berhormat Premier Sarawak di atas pimpinan cemerlang dalam menerajui gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS dalam pilihan raya negeri ke-12 yang lalu. Kejayaan GPS memenangi 76 kerusi membuktikan sokongan padu rakyat terhadap dasar dan agenda pembangunan kerajaan GPS yang dipimpin oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Premier Sarawak. Terima kasih juga kepada Yang Amat Berhormat Premier Sarawak kerana memberi kepercayaan kepada saya untuk menerajui Kementerian Utiliti dan Telekomunikasi Sarawak yang diberi nafas dan nama baharu untuk merangkumi telekomunikasi selain daripada utiliti. Saya merakamkan jutaan terima kasih kepada Yang Amat Berhormat Premier Sarawak yang telah meluluskan peruntukan sejumlah ringgit Malaysia 6.37 bilion sejak tahun 2018 untuk pembangunan dan penyediaan perkhidmatan bekalan air dan bekalan elektrik di seluruh Sarawak. Manakala peruntukan sejumlah ringgit Malaysia 1.8 bilion diluluskan oleh Kerajaan Sarawak untuk membangunkan kemudahan telekomunikasi. Dengan kesempatan ini juga saya ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada mantan Menteri Utiliti Sarawak Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Dr. Stephen Rundi Anak Utom di atas dedikasi dan perkhidmatan cemerlang sepanjang beliau menerajui kementerian ini. Pelbagai langkah penyelesaian, inisiatif dan projek telah diperkenal dan dilaksanakan sepanjang 5 tahun yang lepas. InsyaAllah, saya komited untuk meneruskan amanah dan tanggungjawab menerajui kementerian ini bagi menyediakan kemudahan utiliti dan telekomunikasi kepada rakyat Sarawak. Tuan Speaker, bekalan air. Saya mulakan ucapan penggulungan saya mengenai bekalan air di Sarawak. Walaupun majoriti rakyat Sarawak telah dibekalkan dengan air bersih, namun masih terdapat kawasan yang menghadapi masalah bekalan air yang tidak mencukupi dan tidak stabil. Kerajaan Sarawak telah meluluskan peruntukan sejumlah ringgit Malaysia 4 bilion di bawah projek rakyat untuk pembangunan program grid bekalan air Sarawak bagi menangani isu-isu bekalan air di kawasan terjejas teruk atau stress areas. Kebanyakan projek ini yang sedang dilaksanakan disasarkan siap menjelang tahun 2023. Setakat April 2022, sebanyak 288 daripada 297 projek bernilai kira-kira ringgit Malaysia 3.4 bilion telah dianugerahkan. Sebanyak 197 projek telah siap, manakala 91 projek lagi di bawah pelbagai peringkat pelaksanaan. Baki 9 projek masih dalam peringkat penilaian tender dan reka bentuk. Saya percaya dengan siapnya kesemua projek ini, kuantiti dan kualiti bekalan serta tekanan air di kawasan yang terjejas teruk akan bertambah baik dan mencukupi. Jabatan Bekalan Air Sarawak, JBAP, juga telah berjaya menyelesaikan isu bekalan air dengan melaksanakan beberapa kerja intervensi di kawasan terjejas teruk ataupun stress area. Di samping itu, Tuan Sri Speaker, sebanyak 254 projek bekalan air yang bernilai ringgit Malaysia 4.51 bilion telah diluluskan untuk pelaksanaan dalam rancangan Malaysia 12, di mana 1.8 bilion dibiayai oleh Kerajaan Sarawak untuk pelaksanaan 4 projek terbaru di bawah Lembaga Air Kuching, 4 lagi projek baru oleh Lembaga Air Sibu dan 190 projek sambungan. Manakala sejumlah ringgit Malaysia 2.62 bilion, 2.6 bilion telah diperuntukkan oleh Kerajaan Persekutuan untuk membiayai 14 projek baharu dan 42 projek sambungan. Projek-projek ini merangkumi pembinaan loji rawatan air, tangki simpanan air, stesen pam penggalak dan pemasangan saluran pipe. Setelah siapnya projek-projek ini, saya yakin kita dapat meningkatkan harapan ataupun reliability dan memperluaskan liputan bekalan air. Antara strategi pembangunan bekalan air dalam rancangan Malaysia 12 ialah pertama, pembangunan grid air termasuk penyaluran air mentah, pembinaan loji rawatan dan sistem grid air, sistem pam penggalak, tangki simpanan air dan pemasangan pipe. Dua, pelaksanaan program Sarawak Alternative Water Supply, ringkasnya SAWAS. Tiga, pengurusan kadar air tidak terhasil atau non-revenue water, ringkasnya NRW, secara holistik. Empat, pemuliharaan bekalan air terawat. Lima, penyediaan one-day storage dalam sistem bekalan air. Enam, pembinaan loji rawatan air baharu serta pemulihan atau menaik taraf loji rawatan air untuk mencapai 20% reserve margin ataupun buffer. Dan seterusnya pendigitalan sistem bekalan air. Tuan Speaker, Pelan Induk Bekalan Air Sarawak dan grid air yang disiapkan pada tahun 2021 menggariskan pembangunan bekalan air di Sarawak untuk jangka masa sehingga tahun 2025, 2040 dan 2070. Pelan induk ini merangkumi 3 tras strategik untuk menangani isu-isu berikut. Pertama, permintaan air. Kedua, rawatan dan pengagihan air. Ketiga, kualiti dan kecukupan air untuk kedua-dua air mentah dan air terawat. Untuk merealisasikan pelan induk yang selaras dengan sasaran Post-COVID Development Strategy 2030, Kementerian memerlukan peruntukan segera sebanyak ringgit Malaysia 165 juta untuk menjalankan kerja-kerja front-end engineering FEE yang melibatkan kerja siasatan tapak, survey dan reka bentuk awalan. JBAP kini dalam penyediaan dokumentasi untuk melantik perunding FEE. Objektif pelan induk ini adalah untuk membangunkan sistem grid air yang merangkumi pembangunan sumber air mentah, perawatan dan pengagihan air. Ia akan menghubungkan semua loji utama yang merentasi seluruh Sarawak dan membentuk sistem grid air yang berterusan. Selaras dengan plan ini, Tuan Speaker, sebanyak 100 loji rawatan air sekarang akan dikurangkan kepada 38 loji rawatan air utama di Sarawak. Loji rawatan air berkapasiti kecil dan tidak ekonomik untuk beroperasi serta mempunyai masalah sumber air mentah akan diberhentikan operasinya atau diguna semula sebagai stesen pam penggalak. Sekarang, Tuan Speaker, liputan bekalan air keseluruhan telah mencapai 83.6% di Sarawak. Ini meliputi 99% di kawasan bandar dan 66.9%, 66.9% di kawasan luar bandar. Untuk mencapai liputan penuh selaras dengan sasaran Post-COVID Development Strategy 2030, Kementerian memerlukan peruntukan sejumlah 21.24 bilion. Kementerian juga melaksanakan program Sarawak Alternative Water Supply, ringkasnya SAWAS, yang bertujuan untuk menyediakan bekalan air bersih dan selamat kepada masyarakat di kawasan terpencil di Sarawak. Kawasan ini merupakan kawasan yang tidak dapat disambungkan dengan sistem bekalan air yang sedia ada dan sistem grid yang akan kita sedang kita bina dan akan siap di masa yang akan datang. 5 buah pakej SAWAS telah siap dan membekalkan air bersih kepada 572 isi rumah di bahagian Seri Aman, Mukah, Bintulu, Miri dan Limbang. Di bawah program projek rakyat, kementerian saya sedang melaksanakan 22 pakej SAWAS dengan anggaran kos sebanyak ringgit Malaysia 135 juta yang akan memberi manfaat kepada 1,548 isi rumah. Tuan Speaker, untuk menambah baik mutu perkhidmatan bekalan air, kementerian saya telah menjalankan pendigitalan sistem bekalan air. Antaranya ialah penyediaan program pendigitalan sistem bekalan air oleh JEBAP. Sistem ini merangkumi Integrated Multi-Information Platform, iaitu Command Center yang berfungsi sebagai pusat komunikasi dan teknologi pintar untuk memantau infrastruktur bekalan air serta sistem rangkaian air. Command Center ini akan menghubungkan agensi-agensi yang berkaitan bagi menggalakkan kolaborasi dan memantapkan sistem penyampaian bekalan air. Kini e-utilities, air water, servis Sarawak telah diperkenalkan bagi menyediakan pelbagai perkhidmatan berkaitan bekalan air. Antaranya ialah mengenai sebakan dan pembayaran bil, permohonan meter air, lesen mains, layer and pipe fitter, serta permohonan sijil produk berkaitan bekalan air. JEBAP akan memasang 40,000 smart meter sebagai projek perintis di bahagian Sirian menjelang pada penghujung tahun ini. Sebanyak 14,200 smart meter sudah dipasang di daerah Bau, Asajaya, Subuyau dan Semunjan pada tahun ini. Manakala Lembaga Air Kuching akan melaksanakan projek perintis sebanyak 2,000 unit smart meter di perumahan Darul Hana. Pemasangan smart meter kemudiannya akan diperluaskan pelaksanaannya kepada semua pengguna di kawasan liputan Lembaga Air Kuching. Smart meter ini menggunakan teknologi Narrow Band Internet of Things (NB-IoT) dan frekuensi radio untuk penghadaran bacaan. Tuan Speaker, program penghantaran tangki air merupakan salah satu inisiatif intervensi yang dilaksanakan oleh Kerajaan Sarawak. Inisiatif ini dilaksanakan di kawasan yang masih belum mendapat bekalan air bersih dan terawat sepenuhnya, serta kawasan yang mengalami masalah bekalan air. Kerajaan Sarawak telah menghantar sejumlah 56,044 unit tangki air kawasan terjejas sejak tahun 2018. Kementerian saya memandang serius, Tuan Speaker, terhadap kadar air tidak terhasil atau non-revenue water (NRW) yang tinggi. Oleh yang demikian, program pengurusan NRW secara holistik telah dimulakan untuk menangani isu ini melalui pendekatan berasaskan teknologi digital. Semua agensi air telah menubuhkan unit NRW bagi melaksanakan program pengurangan NRW di kawasan liputan masing-masing. Tuan Speaker, Kerajaan Sarawak, Tuan Speaker, seterusnya saya ingin menyentuh tentang subsidi air. Kerajaan Sarawak telah memberi subsidi yang tinggi untuk bekalan air terawat kepada pengguna domestik. Secara amnya, kos pengeluaran air adalah di antara ringgit Malaysia 1.04 sehingga RM1.78 bagi setiap 1,000 liter. Tetapi tarif air yang kita kenakan kepada pengguna domestik adalah hanya di antara 44 sen sehingga 61 sen bagi setiap 1,000 liter. Ini bermakna subsidi yang ditanggung oleh kerajaan melalui semua agensi bekalan air adalah di antara 41% hingga 75% bagi pengguna domestik. Jumlah anggaran subsidi air kalau kita kira bagi tahun 2020 dan 2021 melalui keempat agensi bekalan air iaitu JEBAP, Lembaga Air Kuching, Lembaga Air Sibu dan Laku Management Sdn Bhd untuk pengguna domestik di Sarawak adalah sebanyak ringgit Malaysia 305 juta, 305 million. Ini menunjukkan bahawa kerajaan GPS tahu reti dan prihatin terhadap keperluan rakyat di Sarawak. Selain itu, Tuan Speaker, kerajaan juga memberi subsidi melalui program air percuma, Free Water Program, untuk RM5 pertama bil air domestik bermula Januari 2020 sehingga sekarang. Sehingga April 2022, jumlah subsidi untuk program ini ialah sebanyak ringgit Malaysia 68.2 juta. Pakej bantuan khas Sarawak Kusayang BKSS di bawah kementerian saya juga untuk memberi diskaun bil sejak tahun 2020 sehingga 2022 kita kini kira berjumlah sebanyak 101.3 juta, 101.3 million yang memberi manfaat kepada 647,000 pengguna di seluruh Sarawak. Di Sarawak, purata penggunaan air bagi kategori domestik di kawasan bandar adalah sebanyak 270 liter sehari seorang, iaitu bersamaan dengan 32,400 liter sebulan seisi rumah. Purata penggunaan air bagi kategori domestik di kawasan dua bandar. Di Sarawak, purata penggunaan air bagi kategori domestik di kawasan bandar adalah sebanyak 270 liter sehari seorang, iaitu bersamaan dengan 32,400 liter